Settle in because this morning the Viall Files released an episode with Bailey giving us the full scoop. As you would expect, Nick did not hold back. He asked every question that he has and all of the questions that we've had the entire time. Bailey just gave so much good context, like not just context for her situation, but I feel like she gave context for all of Paradise. She explains that things are moving a lot faster for them there than what we can even really see because we're watching it once a week. Nick asked her, like, how are you processing some of these things that have come out? How are you processing the fact that Jeremy made that phone call? Bailey explained, she was honest. She was like, I am having to process all of that. Like, that's what I'm processing right now, the fact that everyone knew before me. She explained, though, that she felt like in a lot of situations, the guys were processing their emotions kind of in the moment. She said, of course, she wishes that Jeremy wouldn't have said some of that stuff out loud and he wouldn't have said some of that stuff on camera because she has had to process all of that. But she said that she feels like in general, a lot of times the women were really thinking about like, what's the full picture of what's going on right now? And she said that there were a lot of situations where the guys were kind of having a hard time seeing that same thing, which I think is a really interesting note because I feel like you see that with a lot of these guys where it's like, ooh, that didn't play out well. And I think she's explaining it like not all of them really had the kind of forethought of like, maybe I shouldn't be saying this out loud right now. Maybe I should be thinking about how this is going to air eventually. Nick asked her about the conversation between Brian and Jeremy where they're talking about like Brian and Parisa potentially going home and Jeremy looks very Godfather-esque. And she's like, I think he was really mostly joking in that conversation, which is always a good reminder that the show has so much power over our interpretation and our perception of these moments by the music that they're putting behind it, by what they're cutting. There are a couple things that Jeremy said last night where you could tell it was cut at a certain point. So anyways, I feel like Bailey did a great job showing like, no, there was for sure some things that shouldn't have been said. I wish people would have informed me sooner about this phone call to Susie. You know, she was totally honest about like, there were things that I didn't like how it played out, but she was so gracious and so understanding about the things and the elements of this that are out of everyone's control, how people are being perceived, and even people's own limitations in this environment where things are so fast moving, so many crazy factors, and how it's hard to get it right 100% of the time.